Today we are going to be presenting our project for the software engineering course. We are from Team 8. So let's get into it. So we're going to be starting off with stating our problem statement for the project. So for this project, we chose the problem statement of creating a solution for senior citizens, where we had to address one of the challenges that they face. So we decided to address the challenge of healthcare related services. So we have named our application Swasti, which provides a one-stop solution for senior citizens to manage their health related services such as medicine reminders and booking doctor appointments, calling for emergency help, etc. So let's get into the team members and the roles for each of the team member. Umang, do you want to chime in on that?
Hi, Umang here. So, for team members and roles, we wanted to keep a very fluid kind of system. So, we decided that everyone will take at least two roles, one as a primary and a secondary. And clearly from the screen, you can see we have two primary backend developers, and then we have two secondary backend developers. That basically helped us. Let's say, for example, since all of us are working professionals, someone is not available, then someone else can take the slack and cover so that all our project is on the track. We did the same thing with all the other roles as well, like front end project manager, Scrum.
Great. So after deciding the roles for each of the team members, we went ahead and identified the target users for our application. The primary users are, of course, the senior citizens and their family caregivers. The secondary users are doctors and pharmacists who are going to benefit from the application not directly but indirectly, such as looking at the documents uploaded by the senior citizens, and the pharmacists can also look at prescriptions of each of the users. So when the seniors whenever the user shows them the pharmacist their prescription, so that they can provide the appropriate medicines to them. And of course, the tertiary users are the emergency services that respond to SOS calls, and also the platform providers, and of course the IT admins who are going to be maintaining the application and making sure things run smoothly. So I would like to ask Umang to tell us a bit more about the user stories.
So for the user stories, what we did was we conducted some interviews with the respective users, like senior citizens, and we had about 10 odd interviews, and we took their feedback and what they wanted and what kind of pain points and concerns they had, or how is their daily behavior. And since senior citizen is our primary user, one of the first user stories that we created was that they want a clean UI where all the text are quite bold and quite big so that they can understand it, and all the buttons are as well big. The senior citizens also wanted a way to track their medicines, because in old age sometimes people forget, uh, and sometimes they misplace their paper where they've written it. They also wanted automatic reminders so that they didn't have to phone someone else, or they didn't have to call the doctor again to confirm if they had a appointment or not. Another thing that came up was that they also mentioned a need for an SOS button, so that when they press it, it goes to the authorities like ambulances and their emergency contacts, so that they don't have to really put in the number while they're facing an emergency. They also wanted a way to store their medical records and their medical history in one place, so that they don't have to look back and look back in their memory and figure out where they've kept their documents, or where if they have misplaced it by mistake or not.
So, in addition to the senior citizens, also the family caregivers are the primary users of the application. So, in a lot of the user stories for family caregivers had some overlap with what the senior citizens wanted. Um, so, similar to how the senior citizens wanted a dashboard where they could track their medications and also look at their prescriptions so that they don't miss any prescriptions. In a similar fashion, the family caregivers also wanted something like that, so that they don't have to have to call up on their respective family member, be it their grandmother or their grandfather, whenever they have some medication ongoing, which is often the case. In addition to this, the family caregivers wanted a digital calendar where they could look at the upcoming appointments and also book appointments with their doctors, and they could add those appointments on the calendar. This allowed basically the family caregivers to keep track of when they need to plan for a doctor visit. And a lot of the families, what ended up happening was a lot of the family members uh, were facing the issues of double booking their allotted time slot for a doctor visit. So having a digital calendar really could really help them in that regard. So the family caregivers also wanted to receive real-time alerts in the case of emergencies, if their respective uh, family member was facing any difficulty, or maybe they were in an emergency situation. So again, very similar to the senior citizens, the family caregivers also faced the need of a place where they could safely store their lab reports and their medical records. In addition to this, a lot of the family caregivers asked us to provide a way so that the senior citizens can look at how they can walk through the application, so that they don't have to explain to their respective grandmother or their grandfather on how to navigate through the app.
So one of the secondary users, main secondary users, is the doctor. And since we all know that doctors have a lot of patients, and sometimes when you go in, they can only dedicate a few minutes to them. So they want their patients to be ready. So to have all the reports and prescriptions in one place where they can track it and they can see the past medications, past records, is very useful. So that's something that they shared with us.
So now we will
So
move on to the storyboards. Please go on.
yeah, so storyboards were also made from the reference of the interviews and the user stories. Here you can see a frustrated senior citizen trying to navigate the mobile phone uh, because the buttons are small or the text is small, so that they can't understand it. Here you can see another concerned family caregiver, daughter possibly, who's trying to check in with their dad if they've taken the medicine or not. Another similar kind of story where the son is trying to check in with their grandparent, and they've both forgotten when is their next appointment. So we've implemented features like this. There's an interface where there's a calendar, and they can all check in. When was the last appointment they had? When's the next appointment they have? Here you can see there's a queue forming up behind the doctor, and the senior citizen has lost some of the test reports that they have done, and the doctor is a bit annoyed at that fact. So to avoid this, we've also implemented a data vault where where both the people can store all the information related to that patient.
Great. So now we'll move on to looking at the tech stack that we have used in the application. So for the backend, we have used technologies such as Python mainly, and for the developmental work, and Fast API for implementing the APIs, UVCon for running the application, PyTest for testing the backend codes, and many such technologies. On the front end, most of the codes are based in TypeScript, JavaScript, and we have also used Axios to fetch APIs and to interact with the backend servers. So we have used external services such as Railway to deploy our applications, Redis for caching purposes, Twilio for sending OTPs and also real-time alerts in the case of an SOS emergency. And we have also used AWS servers to securely store the documents that users upload. In addition to this, we have used tools such as GitHub and Swagger and Notion for planning purposes and for planning the project and also keeping track of the tasks. In addition to this, we have used tools like Excalidraw and dbdiagram and raw.io to draw the class diagrams for the application. We will now move on to the application demonstration.
I was a part of team for the software engineering project, and we built out uh, the project on the theme of senior citizens and their healthcare. So during the course of the project, past 3 months, we collected user stories and built out these two platforms for benefiting senior citizens and their own healthcare. Uh, we have two different portals. One portal for senior citizens and their family, their caregivers, which can use this Swasthya portal, and then we have some other portal for doctors. Uh, so we can. I'll start by giving the demo of the Swasthya portal. Uh, Once you come on the home page, you can choose the dark or light mode, and you can get started to log in. For the first timers, you have to register yourself. So I'm gonna register, let's say my brother, by entering his name, the phone number, the date of birth. So we just add the date of birth from the drop down, and then we can select gender. So this is the first part where you fill up the information. Once we go ahead, this will send a OTP to verify that the mobile phone number is the owner itself. We use Twilio services for this purpose, so you can see that we got the OTP. So once we are done with the OTP verification, we can start and setting up the authentication exactly. So in this case, we offer senior citizens to log in using biometrics or Face ID, where they can just use those to log in. So I'm using my biometric. This makes it easy for them to sign up because there is no password. Instead, you have to sign in using your registered phone number. This makes it easy for you to log in just using your Face ID and biometric. And there is no password here, which is better for senior citizens. This is our home dashboard with our all the features which were based on the user stories that we got from the interviews we conducted. So we tried to keep the UI minimal and clean with big font size and clean font, and that's what you see here. Starting with the features, so one of the user story was that users were having senior citizens were having issue in terms of tracking their medicine on when to take what, and so we built out this feature where once the medicine is added to the database, the reminders will be sent out for them. So you can see all the active medicines I have to take right now. So vitamin D3 medicines with this dosage, and then a paracetamol with this dosage. It also shows the frequency, and the reminders are based on this frequency. And for the course, it is supposed to be. So in this case, the course is from 12th of August, which is today, and then 1 week from now. So until then, I have to take the medicine. We can also go and search these medicines if we want to by just entering their name. And we try to include flashcards which shows you how to use this page. That improves the learnability of the system for the user, and so they can, if they're anywhere stuck in during using this application, they can view their medicines. So this shows all these steps. They can search medicines, and it will give in detailed information on how to do that. You can search by dosage or the name or the frequency, all of that. You can also see all the past medicines. So in this case, there's this tab for past medicines which I was supposed to take until 5th of August. And the reminder feature, I can show that in the working. So the reminders are sent via Twilio on to the mobile number, and so you can see that I got a reminder today to take the D3 medicine just a few minutes ago. Now moving on to other part of our application, we have appointments. So the senior citizens are also having issue with keeping a check of when their appointments were, whom their appointments were with, and what time, what place, all of that. And so we tried to include appointment calendar in our application. We took a feedback that what kind of appointment how should we show them, and so we have a calendar view where they can see all their upcoming appointments. So as this shows, I have a monthly checkup with Dr. Anuja Shetty on 19th of August in Mumbai and at this time. And I will also be sent a reminder by the same reminder system I just showed before on WhatsApp. I can also see my past appointments with the doctor and the notes which the doctor added. So just to keep in check what was discussed and what was prescribed to me. We similarly have a flashcards here as well, which shows that we have a calendar view. We have upcoming and past tabs to show all the appointments, and then we can also quick search. So let's say I want to search the appointment by the location under the upcoming tab, or I want to search the appointment by quarterly review or the name. So I have all those features included here. There is no past appointment for a quarterly review, but there are some past appointments for other purposes. That sums up this part, this feature. The third feature we were focusing on was data vault. So the users mentioned that they were having issues to maintain all the prescriptions, all the documents, or their medical related documents at a single place. And so we built out this data vault, which allows you to upload any of the document, and so you could just in fact upload the file, add a name, report to, and then just upload and save. And once you do that, it will store the information, store the document on our AWS storage bucket, and then you can go and view those just from here. It's also useful for the doctor when they are in the appointment to see all the documents related to the user at a single place, and helps them to diagnose easier and fast track the appointment. It similarly has a flashcards in terms of what this particular section covers. And one thing to note here is that all of these files are secured, stored in a single place in a secure way. So there is no thread as such for these files. You can also filter and sort, and then you can delete the document if you want to do that. So now I think we can move to the next feature, which is one of our last features. So another big issue which we realize for senior citizens is that when they are in a situation which needs immediate help, so it could be when let's say they fall from the stairs, or their medicine is over, or they are facing some issues, they can trigger SOS to their emergency contact. contacts. So initially when they register, they have to add some emergency contacts. So I already have 2 of them, and I'm going to try to add another one. I'm going to add a friend here, who I can send, who will send a SMS later on, in case I trigger the SOS. And so I click, once I add the contact, it will be shown here. And we can also search all the contacts by just adding the, let's say, the name or the relation or their phone number. So I try to keep this simple, intuitive, and interactive as possible for them. And now to show the trigger SOS feature, I'm going to click trigger SOS. It gives a window of 10 seconds for them to either cancel this button if they want to, in case it was clicked a mistake. To show how it actually works, so I have to allow to send a location, and this will now send a SOS. And so you can note that it just sent this an emergency alert to one of my registered contacts with the location and the time and the Google Map link. Now this is really helpful for them if they wanna just directly come to me and help me in the need, and there is nothing more required from their end. They have shared the location, they have shared the information which is necessary with them. And now this particular dashboard can be used by caregivers on behalf of senior citizen if they want to. We try to maintain the same features and clarity as possible. Now I would like to just last show the settings section, which shows you the information about yourself, so as the full name, the age, and the phone number. And this is all, this data is coming from our backend servers, which we created as a part of our development process. The API endpoints handle all the interaction you see here. It is hosted on a remote cloud machine using Railway, and so we felt that there is a need for the doctor dashboard as well in our application to complete the functionality which we wanted to show here. And so to show those, this particular dashboard is also using the same endpoints. These two applications are connected internally by the same backend server, the API endpoints. Now here, the functionality is mostly for the doctor to see the upcoming appointments, the patients they are supposed to see. And so they want to see the appointments, the appointment detail, who the appointment is with. So in this case, it is with Dhruv Agarwal, the primary user, and then the time and the detail about the appointment, what kind of checkup, what kind of this appointment is about. And this is a kind of a very brief overview, but once you go into the different sections, let's say we go to the patient section, and we can see that there are 3 patients in this system. This is one of the patients which we registered ourselves just before, and so we can search patients by their name. And this is particularly helpful when they want to check up their patients' documents and other information during the checkup. And they can see if the patient is active or not, and they can view the details and all of that. Now, in the appointment section, they can see all the upcoming appointments. So it shows that there are 6 appointments, and there is a follow-up scheduled for this patient. And it also shows the other notes and the information. And so what I'm going to do is, as a doctor, you would want to prescribe medicines. That's where another very really important feature comes in, that you as a doctor can just record the instructions for the medicine, and our Gen AI feature will transcribe. So let me show you how that works. Once you click on start recording, paracetamol 500 mg once daily after meal for a week. Once the doctor records this, they can just simply transcribe it using our Gen AI feature, which takes this recording and converts it into something which is readable by our database. And so you can see that it properly converted every detail which we mentioned in the voice note, and it gave us a final medicine detail. And we could also use any other language than English, and our endpoint supports that. So just to make it inclusive for all the languages, and also make it less error prone. So we can create the medicine entry for this patient 17, and that's it. Then I was able to like prescribe the medicine into. So if you want to go and see this on the patient's endpoint, we can go and see that there will be another entry for paracetamol once daily for 1 week, and all the reminders for this are done in the back end. I'll get the reminder after once daily after the meal with the note as well. And appointment section, I can also click new appointment to create a new appointment for the patient. So it shows me all the list of the patients, and I can now schedule the appointment based on the type. So let's say if it's a follow-up, and the appointment is going to be scheduled, let's say the next month at 11:15 in the 11:15 in the morning. Yeah. Okay. So, and we can add a note about the appointment, follow up on last appointment, and this is done by the doctor itself. And so when they click create appointment, this will create a new appointment for the patient Budhil, and it will show up in the dashboard, and they will get the reminder for that before 2 days and before 30 minutes of the appointment, so they are aware when they are supposed to go for it. They can be prepared for it. And yeah, you also get a summary of the appointments in terms of what appointments are supposed to be today and the upcoming appointments according to the dates. To conclude the demo, I can this is a setting section for our doctors, so they can see their information and they can modify it if they require to do that. We have some initial doctor register on our portal, which can use this platform. I think that that covers all of our features. Thank you.